One move decides this entire game, and Anand never sees it coming. This is Grandmaster Knockout. In the left corner, Anand. And across the board, Carlsen. You click to see Anand take on Carlsen. And you're going to get a brawl. Stay till the end, because the move that ends it looks like a blunder, until it isn't. Let's get it on. Anand, pawn to e4. Carlsen, pawn to c5. Anand, knight to f3. Carlsen, pawn to e6. Anand, pawn to d4. Carlsen, pawn takes d4. Anand, knight takes d4. Carlsen, knight to c6. Anand, knight to c3. Carlsen, queen to c7. Anand, bishop to e3. Carlsen, pawn to a6. Anand, bishop to e2. Carlsen, knight to f6. Anand, castles kingside. Carlsen, bishop to e7. Anand, pawn to f4. Carlsen, pawn to d6. Anand, king to h1. Carlsen, castles kingside. Anand, queen to e1. Carlsen, bishop to d7. Anand, queen to g3. Carlsen, pawn to b5. Anand, pawn to a3. Carlsen, rook to ab8. Anand, pawn to e5. Carlsen, pawn takes a5. Anand, pawn takes a5. Carlsen, knight takes a5. Anand, rook takes f6. Carlsen, bishop takes f6. Anand, bishop to f4. Carlsen, bishop to c6. Anand, knight takes c6. Carlsen, queen takes c6. Anand, bishop takes a5. Carlsen, bishop takes a5. Anand, queen takes a5. Carlsen, rook to fd8. Anand, bishop to d3. Carlsen, queen to d6. Anand, queen takes d6. Carlsen, rook takes d6. Anand, knight to e4. Carlsen, rook to c6. Anand, pawn to b4. Carlsen, rook to d8. Anand, knight to c5. Carlsen, rook to d4. Anand, king to g1. Carlsen, pawn to f5. Anand, bishop to f1. Carlsen, rook to cd6. Anand, pawn to c3. Carlsen, rook to d2. Anand, pawn to a4. Carlsen, rook to c2. And pawn takes b5. Carlsen, pawn takes b5. Anand, bishop takes b5. Carlsen, rook takes c3. Anand, bishop to f1. Carlsen, king to f7. Anand, knight to a4. Carlsen, rook to b3. Anand, pawn to b5. Carlsen, king to f6. Anand, knight to c5. Carlsen, rook to b2. Anand, knight to a4. Carlsen, rook to b4. Anand, knight to c5. Carlsen, rook to d5. Anand, knight to d3. Carlsen, rook to b3. Anand, knight to f4. Carlsen, rook to d4. Anand, pawn to g3. Carlsen, pawn to g5. Anand, knight to e2. Carlsen, rook to d2. Anand, rook to c1. Carlsen, rook takes b5. Anand, knight to c3. Carlsen, rook to bb2. And knight to d1. Carlsen, rook to bc2. Anand, rook takes c2. Carlsen, rook takes c2. Anand, knight to e3. Carlsen, rook to a2. Anand, knight to c4. Carlsen, pawn to f5. Anand, pawn to h3. Carlsen, pawn to e4. Carlsen delivers the finishing blow. Anand is down. Want to see Carlsen get knocked off the throne? The next fight on screen is the one that does it. Tap it and watch how. Subscribe so you never miss a knockout.